Well, it's time for me to come back to Texas, and I'm headed for the airport in just a few minutes, and this is our weekly roundup. First, I'm standing in front of the statue at Statuary Hall of Sam Houston, the winner of the Texas Revolution. And I want to remind all Republicans, conservatives in Texas that the mistake that Santa Anna made that gave us the birthplace of liberty, the Republic of Texas, was he divided his forces. And we, as conservatives and Republicans, can't divide our forces in the next election, because if Santa Anna hadn't divided his forces, we'd all still be in Mexico. So think about that. This has been a week, it's been an important week. First off, we had the information about our VA facility down in Phoenix, Arizona, and about a list they had, which some would call a death list, which was a list that allowed people to get bonuses for delaying treatment for certain individuals. It's complicated, but it's a bad thing, and people have died. We have launched an investigation on that, and I called our VA facility in Temple and talked to the director, and she assured me we have no such lists in our district. I will be continuing and following up not only on the Arizona issue, but also in Texas. We cannot stand for anything that prevents the best of medical care for our veterans. That's the big story up here this week. Also this week, we've done 2 of our appropriations bills have passed on the floor of the House. The legislative branch, which is the smallest of our appropriations bills, which covers basically the activity of the House and Senate and the legislature up here as far as funding. We also have done the MILCON, Military Construction and Veterans Affairs, which, again, brings up the issue of veterans again. We have heavily funded the mental health side of VA health care because we've got to stop these folks that are suffering from PTSD and traumatic brain injury. And that's a big thing, and we've got it in this bill, and it's a good bill. We are moving on towards the more of the appropriations process in the near future. Next week, we're going to have a talk about charter schools and try to give some strength to the charter school movement. And finally, I'd like to say that my wife and I, on last Saturday before we came back up here this week, met with the Dutch pilots that are training at Fort Hood and their families. My wife, as you know, is a naturalized American citizen from the Netherlands, and it gave her the opportunity to speak her native language for about 3 hours with some fine Dutch people who are training with our helicopter pilots to be the best in the world. They were great people. We toasted their king's birthday last Saturday, and that was a real treat for my wife, and it was a real treat for me too. See you next week.